Here we go. I think now everyone should hear me. Okay, great. Then let us start. First of all, of course, welcome to Inspo's Saturday's market update. Mm, I have checked the data the whole day and checking new patterns and yeah, useful information. But yeah, the information was very limited because it didn't, yeah, we didn't have any big news for today actually. Yesterday was an amazing day. Um, you noticed this big fight between whales, but let us start with the whales ratio. Maybe also to take this opportunity to explain a little bit more my theory why I think that we are going to have a big dump. So here we go. We have here our daily weights ratio. And you remember maybe I missed this pump signal. Weights ratio dumped very hard on January 30th. Um, Something that is not really common, as you can see, such a dump. And that was the signal and indicating us that the price is going to pump up because that's controlled by whales. Whales are driving the market right now. Retailers are not part of it. Okay, the centralized exchange activity related to wallet counts is very low, and that indicates then less wallets are trading with high volume. That's not necessarily something that would, well, um, indicate that retailers are playing here. So what we are seeing at the moment is that whales are driving the markets, and it seems we have different whales with different interests. However, we can see here that the whales ratio has pumped very hard in the last few days. The first day was February, well, it started February 11th, and usually the weights ratio pumps up, and the day after it should dump to a, yeah, I would say a neutral level, but it didn't happen. It maintained a very high level. It pumped even more the day after, and yeah, February 16th, it dumped as expected to this neutral level, I would say. And afterwards, yesterday, it pumped up again. And that's something that's very uncommon, and that really doesn't happen that many times in the past. And that's for me an indicator that something big is going to happen. They are preparing something. Many people were just asking me, hey, Inspo, does that mean we are going to dump hard today? No, 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 no. Weights ratio is always delayed. Okay? So as we can see, the dump here, that happened January 13th, and the pump happened 4 days later. They are preparing. The weights ratio is much more an indicator showing you that whales are preparing something. If it's dumping hard, like it did final at the end of January, that means only that um, in the next days a big pump is going to happen related to the price action, and the same is happening right now here too. So it's also possible, and you know, guys, that whales love that, is to pump up first to let it dump hard afterwards. And that's something that I'm expecting. It's very interesting because I'm expecting that since Yeah, well, since January 24th, I have tweeted and released a special report about that. Even if the West ratio 30 days average is not doing what I was expecting, to dump even more, to decline, because that's the pattern that happened in the past always. Um, the whales are accumulating dump ammo on exchanges. They don't need to send more bitcoins to the exchanges, because that's what happened in the past as well. Weights ratio is not showing you that immediately afterwards something is going to happen. It's much more an indicator that shows you a trend, what's going to happen in the next few days, 4, 5 days. Um, and so I think, and you remember end of January, we received a lot of inflows. I mean, I remember one day 40,000 bitcoins. In my opinion, this 40,000 bitcoins, or a big part of it, they didn't sell them. And they accumulated many days in the past, such kind of, yeah, they did many kind of high volume inflows in the last few weeks. And that's part of my thesis, of my theory, that these guys are now preparing what's going to happen in the next days. Many are going to wait to see and to detect some big inflows. It's not going to happen. Like yesterday, for example, I mean, we didn't receive that much inflows, but the sell pressure was amazing. And my question is, okay, where, what the hell is going on? So where this kind of volume were located before they started to initiate the sell pressure, and that means these guys were well prepared, and they are preparing their operations days before it happens. That's the daily weights ratio, okay? And that's, as mentioned, what I think it's going to happen in the next days, and that's really huge. And that's something that matches to some observations that I did with option trading related to Bitcoin, but also to the U.S. stock market. It seems they are preparing some huge volatility, and it's something that I don't get, because maybe we are missing something. Maybe they know something we are missing, but that's also part of ways they have. Market makers always have information advantage. That means they have insider information that we don't have, of course. So we have here the weights ratio only view, and we can see here also very interesting, and that's why I closed my short, is we dumped just few hours ago, indicating that the price is going to lift up. And that's happening. The price action is now following. Also here with delay, but we are now talking about the hourly view and not about the daily view. It takes some hours before we can see this kind of impact, but also here indicating the preparation that the price is going to go up, and that's happening. So the question is, what is going to happen today? Well, in my opinion, taking a look to the chart, I don't see big actions today. So I wouldn't expect, at the moment at least, I wouldn't expect any big price action today that would us dump hard or even pump hard. I think it's going to lift up in price, maybe, well, maybe something at 41, 42K. We have to see. I don't think that the big whales are going to accept 42K. At least those guys, they are very bearish in sentiment. Because anytime when Bitcoin tries to go up, you notice that the sell pressure is rising. So they try to maintain a tiny trade range. And it's going to be very exciting this weekend because the market is not driven by stock markets at the moment, by SPX, for example. And yeah, they can surprise us very quick. So we need to see what happens next, but I would